Gusto ko lang po sanang maliwanagan din dito, no, yung ating mga kababayan. Kasi 'di ba ang punto po ng Kongreso, ng House of Representatives, sinasabi nila yung fourth impeachment complaint, 'di ba? Transmitted as articles of impeachment. Ginawa po 'yun ng House bago po in-archive yung first three impeachment complaints. That is clear, di po ba? Kaso, ni-resolve ba 'yun ng ano? Correct me if I'm wrong po, no? I might have missed it. Pero hindi naman siya, kumbaga, kinagat ng Korte Suprema. Instead, the Supreme Court, in its ruling on the motion for reconsideration, focused on session days. Kumbaga, ang dating po sa isang layman na katulad ko, okay, sige, yan ang sequence nyo, no? Na sumunod yung pag-archive after i-transmit yung articles of impeachment sa Senate. Pero teka, mali pa rin yan kasi yung session days, etong ibig sabihin. Kumbaga, hindi po ba parang gumalaw yung goalpost? Basically, to justify its original decision na unconstitutional yung impeachment complaint. Correct me if I'm wrong dito sa impression na ito.
I think you're correct with your observation, Christian, no? Na hindi naman na-tackle yung calendar days and legislative days or session sa original decision. Pero dito po, mas lalong, kumbaga, pinaigting ang diskusyon on calendar days and legislative days. Kaya may naging dahilan para ma-resolve ang decision na ito in favor of the petitioner in this case.
Mukhang ganun po yung lumalabas. Yung dahilan naman na na kailangan pangalagaan yung due process, yung karapatan to due process ng isang impeachable official or impeached or someone who was the subject of an impeachment complaint. Help us understand how important that need to protect the right to due process of an impeachable official vis-a-vis the requirements under the Constitution and the exclusive powers of the House of Representatives to initiate impeachment cases.
Now, you mentioned exclusive power, Christian. In the U.S. Constitution, it is sole power. Exclusive power. So, ibig sabihin, ang may say sa proseso ay ang ating Kongreso. As a matter of fact, they have the rules on impeachment proceedings. Nandun yung due process of law na sinusunod ng ating mga kongresista in case of impeachment proceeding. Pero dito po sa bagong desisyon ng the original and the second one, may mga panibagong requirements po sila. Ang pagtataka, yung dating 5 sa original, naging 3, nabawasan pa. So ibig sabihin, papago-bago ang ating Korte Suprema. Where is the stability of laws sa ating bansa kung pabago-bago? Is this not rule-making or law-making na kanilang ginagawa? So, for instance, Christian, isang pagbabago din para to comply with the due process of law under the new decision. After the referral, after the action of 1/3 of the members of the House, which is the second mode, still, the verified complaint or articles of impeachment have to be referred to the committee. Wala naman sa Constitution yan. Wala sa saligang batas yan. The moment na-endorse o na-affirm o na-file ng 1/3 of the members of the House, diretso po sa Senado yan. And forthwith, the Senate has to conduct the proceedings on impeachment. So, pabago-bago at nadadagdagan ang requirements of due process of law. But in fact, itong prosesong ito was effective during the impeachment of President Joseph Estrada, Chief Justice Corona. Ito po yung sinusunod. And no one questioned the due process of law in these two impeachment complaints.
Yung pong doctrine of operative fact, hindi po siya pinatulan ng Korte Suprema dito sa kanilang desisyon sa motion for reconsideration. Do you find that acceptable?
Well, ang sinasabi ng Korte Suprema tungkol sa doctrine of operative fact, kung isang batas ay isang found out to be unconstitutional, all the acts that were committed before the declaration of unconstitutionality should be declared valid if it will cause chaos or iniquity. Ibig sabihin, kahit na unconstitutional yan, yung epekto niyan will be considered valid and operative. So, sabi ng Korte Suprema, hindi pwedeng gamitin ang doktrinang ito. Kung unconstitutional from the beginning at ang nag-i-invoke ay yung gumawa ng unconstitutional act ng law or executive action, they cannot invoke the doctrine of operative fact. Well, para sa akin po, Christian, I have my reservations again on the statement of the Supreme Court because sa ibang kaso ng Korte Suprema, for instance, yun doon sa tungkol sa DAP case, Araulio versus Secretary Abad, this doctrine was invoked, doctrine of operative fact. Ginamit po ng respondent po ito ng administration at the time. And it was honored by the Supreme Court. Yung epekto po ng executive action nila on the DAP was considered valid. So applying that, ibig sabihin, kung unconstitutional man yung sa umpisa ang ginawa ng House of Representatives dito sa impeachment proceeding, because it has started and the effects are already there, dapat tuloy-tuloy na. So that should have been applied in this case, this doctrine of operative fact.
Dito po sa sinabi ng Korte Suprema when it comes to when an impeachment complaint is deemed initiated, how would that affect impeachment complaints in the future, or including the 2 impeachment cases filed against the president now?
Christian, with much difficulty. With this new ruling, I think it will emasculate, render ineffective this powerful tool to exact accountability. With all these requirements, exacting requirements, mahihirapan na po ang pagsulong ng impeachment proceeding or complaint sa House of Representatives. So, yung intensyon ng framers of the Constitution that it should be a powerful tool to exact accountability, ito po ay malaking kabawasan sa tool na yan na binabanggit ng ating Constitutional Commission of 1986.
Ito, may mga nagtatanong po rito sa viewers natin, no? Paano raw ba ikaw correct itong pagkakamali na ito, quote-unquote, by the Supreme Court? Ay, ito, sabi niya, wala bang pwedeng magtama sa pagkakamali ng Supreme Court? Tao lang din lang yung mga yan, no? Ito po yung pinaliwanag kanina ni Attorney Sarmiento. Pero may mga iba nagpo-float ng idea na, bakit hindi yung mga Supreme Court justices ang i-impeach? What do you think of that route? Medyo magulo rin yun, syempre, di ba? Pero can they be impeached? Can that be cited as a reason for making decisions like this?
Impeachable po ang ating members of the Supreme Court. Ang impeachable officials would be the President, the Vice President, Supreme Court Justices, members of the Constitutional Commission, yung tatlong Constitutional Commission, COMELEC, COA, and the Civil Service, and the Ombudsman. Now, if this is a violation of the Constitution, sabihin natin, betrayal of the public trust. Betrayal of the public trust.
Which is broad.
I can say definitely yes, Christian. Pwede ma-explore. Pwede ma-explore, Christian, on the matter of betrayal of public trust as a ground to impeach an impeachable official.
Linawin ko lang po, no, yung sagot po ni Attorney Sarmiento, ano lang yan, in response to questions coming from some of our viewers. Hindi siya necessarily nag-advocate na i-impeach yung mga Supreme Court justices. No? Ayoko naman, I don't want to get you into trouble because you're just responding to a question. Tama po ba?
Yeah, totoo po yan. No? May kahirapan to impeach our Supreme Court judge. Malaking discussion po yan. Will it constitute violation of the Constitution? Will it constitute betrayal of the public trust? Mukhang malalim at mahaba ang discussion dyan, Christian. That's why I think I would not advocate impeaching our Supreme Court justices.
At saka grabe yung clash of branches po dyan, hindi po ba? Kasi sila yung final interpreters of the law diba, of the Constitution. Tapos yung kanilang interpretation ang ibabato sa kanila as a basis for impeaching them. So medyo magulo po yan. Tapos given what they did here, ibig sabihin, pwede sila makailam. They can step in, di ba? That can easily lead to a constitutional crisis, hindi po ba?
Ay, that's correct, Christian. So, mabubulabog yung separation of powers na ating sinusunod. Sana man lang po natingnan ng Korte Suprema ang karanasan sa ibang bansa. Like sa US, House of Representatives impeachment proceedings nila. Sana po tiningnan din dahil ang ating impeachment galing po sa US Constitution po eh. Hindi nakikialam ang Korte Suprema anong ibig sabihin ng due process of law, etc., etc. And providing for the requirements to meet the standards of due process of law. Dito po sa atin, nag-impose po ang Korte Suprema po eh. So, very, very saddening, very saddening.
Okay. Lastly, sir, tanong ko lang, no, doon sa mga naguguluhan. Kung unconstitutional yung impeachment kay Vice President Sara Duterte, so effectively, she was not impeached. Tama po ba?
That's correct. Because ang impeachment is na charge, no? Nakasuhan. Pero from the very beginning, sabi ng Korte Suprema, void ab initio, no? Ang impeachment proceedings. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po na-impeach si Sara Duterte.
Paano po yung reckoning of the one-year ban? Would it still be February 6, starting Feb 6, or earlier?
Still February 6, Christian, yan po ang sabi ng Korte Suprema sa original decision nila na if there should be another impeachment complaint against Sara Duterte, it should be February 6.